morning, everybody. This is Mike Pfeiffer with Pfeiffer Hobby Supply, and today I'm going to do update 8.0. And at the beginning of this, I would like to, for all of us, if you would, take a moment and pray for the families of all the folks lost in 9/11. And I'm going to do that now. I thank you for participating in that, if you did. And Robin and I have been to Shanksville. And in fact, I will show you my Flight 93 memento on the wall over here. It is in the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania. And it is one of the most inspiring places on the planet, in my opinion. I have not been to Ground Zero. I don't have the funds, and with the virus and everything, I can't go there right now, but I would someday like to go there. It was a very traumatic experience for me. I did not lose anybody except fellow Americans. And when I say except fellow Americans, that's a part of me. Anyway, as I say, it was a very emotional place to be. But that's enough of that. I hope everybody is doing well today, and my heart goes out to everyone's family who was lost. So let's get on with update 80 and see what I've been up to. Okay, everybody, I know there's a lot of tragic things going on in the world today, and a lot of fires on the West Coast. But one in particular may appeal to all of us. Some of you may have loved ones out there or whatever. I'm not trying to berate that, but I know that there's one tragedy going on right now in Oregon that's affecting all of us that are watching this video and doing this video right now. Microtrains has Talent, Oregon has experienced the fire, and they've lost many homes in Talent, Oregon. And I just thought I would show you a picture of this. This is a GoFundMe account, Microtrains Line Fire Fund. That's all you have to put into Google, and maybe you can go there and contribute a little bit of money. The Microtrains plant, from what I understand, was spared. However, I understand that there were some losses. I don't know what types of losses or anything to some of the employees who worked there. So I would encourage you maybe to go there and chip in a few bucks and try and help those folks out, and get those families back up and get the plant functioning again, and help those folks there, because it's in the interest of our hobby. So if you would, maybe go there and chip in a few bucks. Enough of the advertising, enough of the talking. I'm going to show you my Flight 93 commemorative, and then I'll move right into the video. Thanks for watching. Okay, everybody, I brought the Sony out today because it does better close-ups than the new camera. But here's the buildings, the combination of buildings that I have assembled for the fertilizer plant. I can explain them to you. This big tall building here, and this building are all one kit. It was a sidetrack laser kit, which he has gone out of business, is no longer available. This kit that's attached to that building is a Blair Line fertilizer company, and I just joined it to that taller building over there. They are both built pretty much as the kits were. You can see though that on this one I have added this suction pipe for chemical. And then I don't know who made the boiler house back there, but I've had it from the old layout and just decided to repurpose it over here. And then there is a Walther's water tank back there behind. Everything is sitting kind of crooked right now because it's just sitting up on the plaster, but I think that that's pretty much where they will go. I think you can see that there's a little dock on that building back there in the middle. I believe you can see it, yep. There is also a truck drive-through on this building back here. I'm going to build a road, a circular road that goes around and allows trucks to come in there and go through and get fertilizer or dump chemical, whatever the case is. There's another loading facility right here for smaller trucks. I have several lights in that building. I have interior lights in the whole building. And I have, I think, 4 outside lights that will remain on, and then I'm going to put a sequencer on the inside lights, which will give it some variations. I have an interior light, or I'm sorry, I have a outside light, I believe, no, I think I have an interior light on this building. I don't know if you'll be able to see anything except through the small slight opening in the door that there is over there. Sorry for the shaky cam. There are lights on the inside and outside of this middle building here. And there are no lights on that cast resin boiler house. But I will wind up putting in some street lights around here. And many of you may ask how I'm going to get there. Excuse me. The game plan right now is to get these buildings where they're going to be, which is where I think they are right now. Take a Sharpie and mark down on the plaster cloth where they're going to go, and then hollow that out. And then at some point there will be a groove cut in this plaster to get over here where I can go underneath the track. Same thing over here. There'll be a groove cut over to this point right here, which is hollow right in here. Get underneath the track. And then I will figure out how to get them down over here once I get them on the other side of the track. The scenery right in this area right here will probably be one of the last areas that I do. It won't be anything industrial. This thing is just sitting here right now, but I'm thinking about I'm trying to figure out if I could put a road in there, a piece of road or something there, and put my little McDonald's restaurant in there. I also have a car lot, and let me swing you around here. I'm going to put the car lot back in there somewhere, but I'm not exactly sure where, exactly how, but I'm going to try and utilize the car lot. Now we've got that kind of determined. Let's move over to this area and I'll tell you what's going on here. Okay, what I decided in this area here, I have some Walther's bumpers. I'm going to put a Walther's bumper on here. Every larger town that I'm aware of back in the day had a stockyard. And I've always wanted to build a stockyard. And I know this track isn't very big for a large stockyard. However, it is big enough for maybe a 4 or 5 car stockyard. So that being said, I have an N-Scale Architect stockyard, and I am going to build a stockyard there. I don't know if I'll utilize their structures or not. I'm not real fond of the picture of the structures, but I have plenty of structures that I can choose from to make the office building and all that stuff that's needed. But it'll give me another place to take cattle to and cattle from, since I seem to have a little of that theme going on out here. Other than that, behind the cattle pens here, or the stockyard, I don't know, there'll be some building flats or building backs is probably what they'll be. And I may even use the car lot backwards so that it's facing away. You'll still get the same effect, but it may be facing those buildings there in the background. I'm just not sure what I'm going to do. The only thing I'm sure of is what I got right here. And we have seen how I'm going to accomplish that. Now I think the only other thing I'm going to show you today is what I've done on the backdrop. Okay, we're going to start over here, and I'll bring the camera in a little bit. You can see that I've drawn wires on all these poles here, and in conjunction with that I have painted the poles back in and connected the wires to the poles going off into Never Never Land. So there may be a little bit of foliage here. I'm not really sure. I'll put something flat in this background, and like I have said, I may not go all the way down with it. You can see that I have added a fence there so that you can't just look down a naked street there. I have not decided on any kind of fencing along here, but I am probably going to utilize some because it gives you the impression that these structures here are segregated from the ones in the foreground. You can see up here that I painted the smoke in these towers, and I've painted a little bit of white in between the two stacks. In fact, I think I painted those stacks back on. If I swing around here, you can see I now have smoke coming out of the smokestack on the City Box Company, and a little bit out of the vent there. I did paint some white back in here, in underneath the dust collector. Let's see, I put some bracing on the sign here. I put some lightning rods on top of the elevator. And then some lines and poles painted in back over here. Like I say, I haven't figured out exactly what I'm going to use on this opening yet. In the very minimum, there'll be a very large tree right here that'll overhang the track at the very minimum, kind of like it was the last time. In fact, I may put a tree on this side and have it overhang, and have the trees hang over both sides of it. That may cure most of the problem, but I haven't decided that yet. Now, if I come up here, you can see that I've painted the smoke back in these onto the backdrop. No other detailing done to that structure. You can see that I have some birds flying in the background back there. And let me reposition my hand on the camera here. You can see that I painted a stack and smoke back onto the backdrop there. And by the camel sign there, just to the left of the camel sign, I've painted smoke back on. I don't believe I made any corrections there. I did put a little stack coming out the top of that white building there. I painted smoke back in on that smokestack right there, and it goes across into nowhere. I painted a little lightning rod on top of that building way in the background, a radio antenna, another radio antenna on this building. I come across another radio antenna on a building back there, another bird, and if I come all the way across here, you can see that I painted some of my blue backdrop mixed with white in between those two stacks there. Not a very good job, but you see it from a ways off. And smoke back in, and then smoke coming out of that tall smokestack that kind of comes around on the side over here. Another thing I did was I put the lines to the crane back in. I didn't do much touching up to the holes in between the crane. A little bit of blue in there. Down there you can see just a bunch of white that was blotched on over the tugboat to kind of remove most of the tugboat from the scene. There will probably be buildings and things in front of it anyway. I came down this way. There's some generic dark brown or blackish thing there that used to be the boat hull. I don't know what it represents now. It doesn't matter. I tried to mix up some paint and extend this green building out a little bit. The proportions aren't right. but it looks good when you view it from the angle that you would view it from, which is this way. You can see that I put crane lines on the crane there and blued in the sky in between. It's good enough for something you see at about a 60-degree angle, in my opinion. So basically that's all that's been done to the backdrop. If I swing back around here slowly, you can see that I put some little nearer or closer, I guess the term would be, birds in here. And really that's about it. I've spent most of my time working on these buildings. By the way, these buildings are not complete yet. And if I come in here, you can see the fertilizer chutes hanging to load cars. There will also be some grates in the middle of the track here to dump cars. And there will be a pipe connection from this elevator right here to the track grate. There may be another grate down there, and I'm hoping to put in, beyond the buildings down there, some piping that goes up and over the track that would represent liquid chemicals that could come in by tank car. You won't see the tank car facility because it'll be down there way at the end, and that's where the tank cars will go. So it doesn't have to be extremely detailed, it just has to give you the impression that it's there. But anyway, as I was saying, I've got to finish these buildings. I need to weather the roofs, put some vent pipes on, put some corner trim on all these buildings. I basically, last night, just got the roofing on and got them all painted. There's no weathering on any of the roofs or anything. But that's what's on the agenda next. And then I'm going to try and come out and get these buildings mounted. And I did take this grain car and push it down through there. And I don't know what kind of cars will go there, but this is certainly an example of a long enough car that any car should be able to make it down in there. So it's actually designed for the potash cars to come in and unload, probably 5 or 6 at a time, into the grate, and then the potash would be picked up and then taken into the big building and be mixed into the chemical for the fertilizer. But this is going to be a business, and I don't know the name of the business yet, but this is going to be a business that does all of that kind of work. And the name will probably reflect the fact that they also take the unobtainium here, and we don't know what happens to that when it goes in the building here. So anyway, this is the 5-building fertilizer plant. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Okay, everybody, thanks for watching the video today. Like I say, try and help out the folks at Microtrains. Try and send out best wishes if you are related to someone who lost someone in 9/11. Hope I didn't bring everybody down with this information and news and stuff, but it's something that's very close to my heart, and I appreciate you all watching today, and we'll see you the next time.